Hi 5th grade writers, this is a tutorial about opinion writing. So we've already gone through the whole writing process with opinion writing when we did our other ones, but now we're doing one full out with all the research and everything on our jobs. So I've chosen my topic of talking about the best job for me being a technology coach. And so you'll see that here's my graphic organizer. So that was your first step. You guys already should have done your opinion writing graphic organizer and have it all set up like I do here. You'll notice that I even decided what introduction type and what conclusion type I'm going to include. I did that because I wanted to think about it ahead of time and have it all on one piece of paper. So you'll see that I have that. So I'm going to keep referring to this graphic organizer while I'm writing. So your introduction, you guys all should have a purple paper. If you have lost yours or something, I will be posting this on Launchpad, so you can always go back and look at it again. But here you can also look at it on my video here. We have paint a positive picture, paint a negative picture, ask questions, or use some kind of shocking facts. So I think for ours, with our job and career writing that we're doing, I'm thinking we either want to paint a positive picture or you may even ask questions. Remember, your last sentence in the paragraph for your introduction is going to be that opinion statement that you already wrote here. Okay, so that's already done for you. I think for me, I'm going to do paint a positive picture, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause my video so you don't have to see me write it. Now here is my introduction paragraph. I want to say to you that when you're writing yours in your Reader-Writer notebook, you need to make sure that you remember to do double spacing. You want to do that because you know you're going to make some mistakes, either with spelling or maybe you want to include some extra words. So you're going to want to double space, so that will help you when you're editing and revising. So here's my paragraph. I don't know if I like it the best yet. I know I'm going to have to go back and rework it, especially this part where I have the smiles on the students' faces would be as wide as orange slices. I don't know. I want to find a better way to describe how big their smiles would be. So if any of you have an idea, that would be great. So I'm just showing, you can read this through and pause the video and read it if you're interested. But the last paragraph here, or last sentence, I'm sorry, for these positive scenarios and more, it is my opinion that the best job for me is a technology coach. So I stated my opinion, the last sentence of my introduction. Now I'm going to head into my first paragraph with my information. So you want to always look back. Oh, I got to remember where I have it. Here it is. Got to look back at my graphic organizer. So now I'm going to focus on reason 1. So my reason 1 here, I'm going to have this sentence that I put as my very first sentence. And now I'm not just going to write my first fact and my second fact. I'm going to elaborate on that. I'm going to go into detail. I'm going to use my research cards if needed to do that. So my first fact is I will use my experience with teaching 5th graders technology. So I'm going to talk about how I teach 5th graders technology and go into detail about that. I'll also go into detail about how when I'm a coach, I can be able to connect with students really easily because I've done it for so many years in my own classroom. So I will go into detail. So this is going to be a full out paragraph. So I'm going to write it and then you'll get to see it. So here's my second paragraph, which is my first reason. So my first reason is the job of technology coach will utilize my skills as a classroom teacher. Notice that I'm using like bigger words. I've used the synonym click to do this, to find some better words to make it sound more intelligent and more that I've really thought out the whole thing. So I'm using, and if you remember, I only had 2 small sentences to explain why I'm going to be using these skills as a technology coach, and I went into detail about it. So if you would like to pause the video and read my paragraph, go ahead. I'm going to do the same thing for my next 2 paragraphs. So I'm going to use my connector word. Remember to use your connector word chart, by the way. You guys all should have it in your folders. It looks like this, and I also will save this one for you. You want to use good linking words, ones that are appropriate. So first, next, last, or even obviously might work well for you, one important reason, or something like that. So use this chart to help you to find those connector words that best suit yours. So mine I chose first, second, I kind of was boring with it, second, and then my last one will be last. And then now I'm going to write those 2 paragraphs and I will share them with you when I'm done. Here I've finished my paragraphs for the second and third points. You'll notice that I actually even quoted Daniel Kaufman, who I had interviewed, by saying, second, according to Daniel Kaufman, technology coach in the Wilson School District, technology coaches should have strong communication skills. That is okay to do. Even if you found your information on a website, if you want to say, according to this website or according to this author, that I would recommend you doing. That means you're citing your source within your paragraphs. Now we're going to cite our sources, of course, at the end like we always do using BibMe, but that would be a good way to do it, to be very professional. Notice that I elaborated on my paragraphs. I did not just restate my simple things that I had over here in my graphic organizer. I went into detail. See, I have strong communication skills. Technology coaches need to be strong listeners and they need to collaborate. My paragraph does not look that short, does it, boys and girls? It's very detailed. I used larger words like concerns, and I did for example when I elaborated. If you would like to read it, you can pause my video, of course. And then here's my last reason. Notice that I'm using a comma as well when I'm separating my intro word. That is definitely one of our comma rules that we learned. You'll see again I said according to Mr. Kaufman. So I cited him again. I gave detail. I went into detail about an example of a way that I have used continuous learning. I talked about how I use TouchCast here. So again, if you want to pause it and read it, go ahead. The key here is elaborate. Go into detail. Use your research. Use the information from your interview. Use it to the most of your ability. Okay, go into full detail. And use those commas, capital letters, and periods, of course, as well. The last step is going to be to put in our conclusion. And we all have our conclusion paper. I will, of course, put that on Launchpad as well for you if you have lost yours. But here they are. Of course, your conclusion should always have your conclusion restated using one of these connector words like finally or to summarize, something like that. Then you want to use one of these conclusions to wrap up your paragraph to make it more interesting. So you could pull at that reader's heartstrings. You could make a call to action. I don't know if that would work so well with what we're doing here. Maybe if you want other people to try the job that you want to try as well, then maybe that would be a call to action. You can make it come full circle. So think about how you used your introduction and bring it around full circle. I think a lot of us are probably going to do heartstrings or full circle. I believe I'm going to do heartstrings for mine. Remember how on my graphic organizer here, I wrote emotion for my conclusion type that I wanted to do. So I'm going to use this sentence right here. It'll be my first sentence, and then I'm going to use emotions to conclude my paragraph. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll come back and show you what I've done. Okay, I have my conclusion done, so I've used heartstrings to kind of pull at my reader's heartstrings and to see why I'm going to be such a good technology coach. I restated my conclusion. Restated my opinion in my conclusion. In conclusion, technology coaching is the best next career for me. Recently, I began to ask myself, how can I make a larger impact on the students of the Daniel Boone Area School District? I've finally found my answer. I can become a technology coach simply by helping other teachers. Oh, I found an error. Other teachers become better teachers. I think I want to change that. Better users. Teaching other teachers, by helping other teachers become better users of technology in their classrooms, I will be transforming how the students of our district learn and use the 4 C's of collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. I believe that each and every one of us can make the world a better place. And by becoming a technology coach, I can do the same. So I think that last statement here packs an impact and shows, how I truly feel about this job and how passionate I am about it. So I want you to try to do the same. my example will be available to you to read the whole thing again on Launchpad. Of course, I'm going to be adding, and I won't do that with the video, I am going to add a bibliography using BibMe, again like we used before, and pretty sure it was BibMe. Let me check on that. Yes, I made a mistake. It was EasyBib that we used before. Here it is. BibMe is the same thing though. Again, you want to use MLA 7 or 8, probably 8 since it's more up to date. And we're going to actually add an interview here. So I'm looking and I'm seeing, I don't see an interview as an option. Let's see if I go into other options, if that's available. Interview, there it is. So you'll click interview when you want to add that to your bibliography. It's called a personal interview, one that you have done. So I don't think it really will necessarily have a title unless you want to call it job research. You're going to say how you did it. If it was via email, some of you did via email, some of you did via web, and some of you did in person. You should know the person's name, and then that will annotate it for you. Of course, you want to put it in a new page on your document. So you want to scroll to the next page. You want to call it bibliography, and then you'll go from there with your EasyBib, just like we had done before. If you want to add pictures and captions to your opinion piece, you can also do that as well. When you're done writing your piece, we're going to edit. We'll go into our edit mode using VoiceThread, and well, maybe we might use a different topic or a different thing. I can't think of what it's called. Anyway, Flipgrid. We might use Flipgrid for it. I'm not sure. Yeah, Flipgrid. We might use Flipgrid or we might use VoiceThread, one of the two. But then you'll edit and then you'll get to your typing phase where you will add captions if you would like, but you definitely need to have a bibliography page as discussed and put all your websites in there and your interview in there. So I hope this served as a good tutorial for you as you are going through your process. Again, good luck, and I know that your pieces are going to be great.